a second. We should be live in just a moment there. Making sure everything's all good there. Right, yeah, we are. What's going on, champs? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome. It's Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans out there. Big love to you guys there. Hope you guys eat really well. And don't get too fat, you know what I'm saying? Like, just exercise afterwards. Messing. What are you saying, though, man? It's been an interesting show with crypto as well, with bullishness as well. Don't know if you guys actually caught on what happened to FOMC yesterday. FOMC came out and they're looking to slow down the rates, so it's looking good. Which I do want to discuss that just for a few moments there. They're looking to slow down the rates, which is looking good. Because we had inflation for really it's been a shit show really with inflation, and really and truly now is that they're looking to reduce the rates, bring it all down, keep things under control, and let things go back. Well, try and get things back to normal. That's the idea behind it. Now the problem is, right, is that everyone's getting bullish about this, right, which is all good. Okay. Well, it's not really good, but the problem is the fact that if you're getting bullish, you got to think about why you're bullish, right? Those who are looking at it is that, okay, inflation's going high, dollar index is going up. Dollar index going up means stocks and crypto goes down. Makes sense. Now, if we can actually have a recession, for example, or we're going to stop having the tightening, the quantitative tightening, we're going to start going into quantitative easing, then what will happen is the market's going to rally up to by the news by it. And I do believe this is just another buy the rumor, sell the news. Okay, in terms of I'll explain to you in a bit. And what my personal thinking about it, it's really is buy the rumor, sell the news. We're having the idea of a Fed pivot. Everyone's like, yo, crypto's gonna be bullish. We're gonna have dollar index gonna come back down, and there's no more rate hikes. The Fed's gonna be dovish, which means crypto's gonna go up. It doesn't work like that. If it was that simple, trust me, we'll all be millionaires. But really and truly, it's gonna fuck everyone up. And I'm telling you this now. I'm gonna tell you this again. It's gonna fuck everyone up, right? The idea is that the tightening, this is the pivot, will actually make things under control and stocks will go up. No, we're gonna have a massive short. Every time we had a Fed pivot, it's been really, really bad, right? I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. I've done it before. I'm gonna do it one more time, and hopefully you guys are trying to understand this, right? So, which means it doesn't really matter. If we're playing on the lower time frame, which we do all the time on a day trade basis. We're looking for trades, longs or short, longs or short. So if we have an idea, is buy the rumor, sell the news, what can we do? We can start looking for longs pretty much as well, and look at how the technical analysis is working and play for longs. I was in a BNB short yesterday night. It was an aggressive trade, just like LTC, another aggressive trade. I like playing aggressive trades. I get stopped out from aggressive trades from time to time, but then when the other times when it does go my way, you do see those crazy 27 Rs, 12 R moves and stuff like that. So that's when it gets quite interesting. But we'll see how it goes. I would like to definitely enter back into LTC and BNB. They've overpumped. What I like to do as an advice for you guys is to look out for all the alts itself. Have a measurement of the alts itself and see which one is pumped stupidly high, right? It's always the one that pumps really, really heavy, like, not heavy, really pumps up on the upside really, really strongly. Their drop, there's a lot of gain out of it. So you gotta monitor it itself. Just like the bull market, everything pumped up, and then like we missed the shorts. Well, a lot of us missed the shorts in terms of like playing at the shorts on the top, but you start looking for day trades playing shorts on the downside itself. So we'll see how that goes, right? Before I carry on, let's do a quick shout out to the morning, guys. Well, who do we have here? We got Derry in the house. We got Madcap Pat. He's always making me smile when he talks to me about the Crash Bandicoot crew. Big respect to the geezer. Daink Country Club's here. We got Bowinder here. Walaikum salam, my bro. Crypto Cruise is in the house. John Caboose, Skin Face is here. Got Jordan Doherty. Everyone should check out the Crypto Bird video. Oh yeah, that was it. That was an interesting one, Jordan. You watched it. Me and Bird did a video yesterday on scalping. It's there's a lot of alpha in there, which I go through in the DCC to actually help others to understand what the thing is. We did a session yesterday, pre FOMC in the DCC. Really, really like in depth in terms of like, we're taking we're looking for trade scenarios, looking what is the bullish scenario, what is the bearish scenario, waiting for FOMC to calm down. And during that time, like 2 hours afterwards, I decided to take an aggressive short. I explained the guys why I'm taking the short itself, and not only that, in terms of like, because the consensus was like, I'm gonna wait out, and which is really good. I like when people say I'm not too certain about this, and when someone tells me they're not too certain about a trade, about my trade in particular, it's good because you're looking at this from your own perspective, and that's what I want. I don't want people to follow blindly because it shouldn't be that, because nothing is financial advice, but you should be looking at things by your own perspective. But like, is it really bullish or is it bearish? You know, which one is it? And then you start looking for what's the best way to enter in. You look for confirmation, and the guys were looking for confirmation as well. So I gave them the plan for confirmation. Start me out. It's still playing within a small little range, but we'll look for another price action on that. So we'll have a look. But with in the Burbs Nest one, that was, we talked about scalping. You know, how would I play like a 7-hour move on a scalp? How would I actually play? You know, like if I'm playing from the top on a breakdown, what I'm looking for, anticipating a break back into the range itself. So a lot of you guys know that I'm a range band trader, but what you don't also know is I'm a very aggressive trader when it comes to coming back into the range. Like because you know, you like, for example, let me just show you this. Give a quick little example there. Let's get the pen. Let me get a clean little sheet over here. So what we got here? Got a range band environment, right? So price comes back up, and we know what will happen is we got a range high and a range low. And price plays within this range band itself. When it does a breakout, right, and it does something like that, what I'm looking for, we know this is consolidation, right? Let me change the color for a second. We know this area here is the consolidation. This is the breakout. We're looking for a retest, right? At least a retest into here. And the question is it a retest to come back up, or is it a deviation to come back down? And once it comes back down, then this was just a deviation. That's the way you're looking at price action itself, right? In terms of how price works. Draw that back in. Oops, fucking up. Draw that back in. There's the fucking, there we go. Black line, and come back down, and then we do price like this. Price comes up like that. Okay. Now I like to play the retest back down. It's always good. Like for me, it's pretty much not an easy trade. It takes a lot of practice though. But what you're looking for is how do you anticipate a breakdown. So for example, I'll give you an example of this. This is the low. Once we break down the low, bearish market structure, you see these lower highs are forming. You got that trend line going up there. Where are you wrong? If we get back up and reclaim this high, we play the longs there, and I can switch bias very, very quickly like that in one way. And then what I'm doing is playing it back down to the mid range, to the range high, and I'm still holding the trade pretty much. I'll be honest with you, most of the time I actually hold the trade. I don't take profits. If I've got a set TP, and I'll say my TP is here is one thing because I'm anticipating a breakout. But if I'm anticipating a range band environment with my own reasoning behind it, you know, like again in the DCC we cover that up as well. We can cover that. But if I'm anticipating a range band like to come back into the range band to play back to range low, which I've done a few times, and you know, you guys sitting on Twitter, you guys sitting on the DCC, and when I do enter, I do tell you when I enter in. And so when price comes back down, I'm holding the trade, playing it back down to mid range, and I'm watching each, and I'm holding the trade. Most of the time I'm holding the trade. So depending on what's going on over here, right, I'll hold the trade itself, right, and then once we get back down, play back down to range low, and that's a good 7-8 R, sometimes 10 R, depending on how tight and how much of a push down we got. It's a fucking phenomenal trade there. So you make a day like a scalp play will evolve into like a swing play in its own way, in its own perspective as well. Not exactly when you say swing play, I'm not saying to you from like Ethereum's at like $1,000 all the way to like $1,500. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like from $1,000 to like $1,200, right? That's pretty much a swing trade because you're making a scalp, because you're scalping this price action over here. The play back down, and the day trade becomes like this, and then the swing trade becomes like this, coming back into the range, and that's how you get like that's how I've found that's been really fucking pretty impressive. Check it out though. Check it out. So the example I gave wasn't a trade I took. I did say that on the stream. I didn't take the trade itself, but it was more of an education purposes for the guys on BCC. For BC Richfield as well, which we did the stream together. And I got a lot of love for Burp, so I'm always happy to actually, you know, give my time out for him as well. So we covered that up. Check it out. And if you are interested, you're more than welcome to join the DCC, and we can grow together. Going in the bear market, actually, continuation of the bear market. But I do think we're going to go down a lot more in the future. In terms of when, I think not anytime soon. Once the Fed pivot comes in, I'm telling you, it's going to come back down. The reason why, let me just break that down. I've done this before. Again, like I said, I'll do it one more time. All right. So then the thing is, right. Look at this chart right here. The analysis are looking forward to the Fed, forward to a Fed pivot, and I do agree it's going to happen because we know inflation is so fucking high. It's like 11%, 12%. You know, some places in the world is fucking ridiculous, right? But every time we have a pivot, we tend to have a crash. Okay, we have a crash down, back down to the downside, and you can see every time we have a Fed pivot, we rally in anticipation of the Fed pivot. Let me change the color. We rally, fucking this color. Yeah, we rally in anticipation of the Fed pivot, then we crash down in 1969, 36%. Again, price comes back up. We rally in anticipation. This one's breaking down. Fed pivot, bang, smash back down. We rally and whatnot. And then once inflation's getting high and whatnot, we have an anticipation of a Fed pivot, back down 27% in 1981. And then we just fucking kept on going. And in 2000 dot-com bubble, what happened was we rallied in well, not really, but we tend to rally away. I mean, if you were to say that this is your key level, you see price, how is it hanging around here? Only when we get back below it, when the Fed pivot happens, we start having a crash, 51%. And the worst one was in 2007. That was a great recession. Don't know if some of you guys are not alive, but remember it. It was a very, very scary moment for the world, across the world itself, and that's when we crashed down 58%. I mean, this COVID one was a bit of a different one. This COVID one, you could say, is a black swan, but we rallied. Then the black swan event happened, and it's down to 35%. And then the same thing. So now coming to 2023, whether it's going to happen in December or 2023, are we going to rally up into these areas here, or mid-range of 2020 range, which we'll discuss in a bit, and then dump down a good, I know, fucking 30% or something like that. I don't know. I would, ideally, I mean, we'd like to retest this area here. This area here hasn't been retested properly. At least that. Crash it back down. Maybe come into this area here. This is going to kind of fucking thin over here and shit. I'm just drawing random bullshit. Maybe retesting this area here. We don't know. And then once we get back up and hold above it, it's going to be bullish back on forward, right? Back into all-time highs, and we'll see what happens after that. So, having a Fed pivot coming up, whether it's going to be in December or whether it's going to be in January, February, we don't fucking know. But that's going to be a very key point that we need to pay attention to. Majority of the decline in these bear markets occurred after the Fed pivot. Listen to this again. It says here, majority of the decline in these bear market, we're in a bear market, occurred after the Fed pivot. So the real decline in the market hasn't really happened according to what they're saying. So it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. So we'll see what's going on there. So who else we got here? Fucking hell, man. On my phone, it's all fucking up. I can't really see everyone's messages. We've got a lot of people here. Fucking hell, fair play to you guys. Got Bern in the house. Bernard Leak is always here, man. Big love to you. Where were you again? There you go. Steve, what's going on? Rocking the dressing. Oh, yeah, the dressing gown. Fucking hell, I'm cold in it. Bro, listen to this now. Story time. It's like, yeah, well, it's just recently happened anyway. Like, I'm wearing this dressing gown, right? And I walk past the mirror. And I'm like, yo, I'm looking at this. I'm like, it feels nice, feels good, it looks good and stuff like that. And I was like, fucking hell, like, I feel like a boxer. You know them boxers that come into the ring and they got the gown on. So I'm bouncing around the house like a dickhead, innit? Thinking I'm fucking Anthony Joshua or Muhammad Ali kind of thing, right? Just like bobbing and weaving, just bouncing around like a dickhead. I'm in the house alone, innit? So no one's seen this dumbass bouncing around. Fucking blinds are properly closed and whatnot, so they can't really see shit from outside. And I start like imagining. My fucking imagination goes off on a mad one. My imagination was like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck up Jake Paul, innit? A little fucking dickhead, innit? Like if I see him, like, you're gonna fight Andrew Tate, I'll fuck you up first, innit? I was like doing this whole bullshit thing. Then I realized, hang on a second. If I fight against Jake Paul, I'm gonna get sparked out clean. Right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna get sparked out. Most of us think we can take him out in a boxing fight. Let's be honest, right? No, that's not true. He's a legitimate contender of a fighter. He's a very, very legitimate contender of a fighter. So you can say what you want to say about Jake Paul. You may not like the guy, but as an athlete, I think he is actually really, really fucking good. In my opinion, I think he's generally a proper athlete as well. So he's done fucking phenomenally well. So you gotta respect that as well. You can argue about the Anderson Silva fight. You know, like, oh, it maybe was fake and whatever. No, it wasn't fake. It was legit. He went for a straight jab. Anderson Silva walked into it, pretty much had no balance, and then got head snapped back out of it as well. Like, got caught and snapped out of it and lost balance and completely dropped. And it was a legitimate drop. So I don't think that was fake. I think you got, where credit is due, credit is due. You got to give it to him as well. And shout out to Jake Paul. I don't like the geezer, but as a fighter, I gotta respect that. What's happening? Let's see what's up. I'll answer a few questions here. Balwindo, alaikum salam. Bon Biggie, what you saying? Bullish at this time is a no-no. Yeah, not bullish as in like going up for all-time high or whatever, or mad prices. I'm just playing it within the range. That's the idea, really. We'll break it down in a moment. BNB was good for me with 50x leverage. Yeah, I saw that though. Shout out to you, man. Basically, Bon Biggie took a 50x leverage, right? And I think like he took profits as well. He literally said, I'm going to bed." Took profits. So fair play to him as well. Mr. M's in the house. What you saying? You're the king here, not me. I'm just some geezer. Yasin, what you saying? Good morning. Teresa Gomez, I haven't seen you for a while. Limpid Z. I'm Mo's on Twitter, Habibi. Oh, you're Mo's. What you saying, bro? How's it going, brother? The hair and beard needs to be fucking. Tell me about that, man. My mom was just taking the piss out of me in the morning as well. Like she wakes up and she comes over, right? She's like staying at my place for a bit, and she goes to me. It's like, "Yo, Zishan, like you've gotta sort yourself out a little bit." What do you mean? She's like, "Look at you. You look like a fucking hobo, innit?" I was like, "Yo, mom, it's fucked up, you know." Really fucked up. Let's play footsie. How you doing, bro? How you doing, sister? You doing well? We'll have a listen. Bless you there. ATM assumes, or at the moment assumes everything is bearish until proven otherwise. I agree with you there. With the Burv conference, thanks for that. Volume is low. Sorry about that. I'll bring this a bit closer there. A lot of the low time frame bits are really good worth for watch. Thank you so much for that. Do you ever risk more than 1%? My risk is 2% on my account in my honest view. Really, this is what I really do. I do risk 2% on my account. Once I grow the account a lot more bigger, right? When I say like big time, right? Then I'll drop it down to 1%. But I'm quite happy with 2%. Swing trades 5%, and scalp trade I do half risk or a third risk. These are the one I will recommend. A third risk, reduce your risk big time when you're scalping. Get into really playing it safely. Looking at, for example, like I don't know if you guys saw yesterday. If you were here live, we did a live trading actually a session as well with you guys, and I entered in. I told you guys, and I was running it through, and that was a 4.2 hour trade. That was a scalp trade for me, playing it back from mid range to range low itself, and that was in reality was a half risk play. So an average, like an overall, it becomes a 2.1 hour reality trade kind of thing. So 2.1 hour, and that covers up the LTC trade. So we got a geese over here called Aaron, Mr. DeCruz in it. How's your LTC trade going? He's a bit of a dickhead though, if you ask me. I bet you he's never liked any of my fucking tweets in it, right? Let's at this guy. Look at this fucking Pajit motherfucker, Apple motherfucking looking geezer. So he likes a bunch of stuff, right? 25th, he's a nobody. He's a nobody, right? He hasn't liked anything since August 17th. He's a nobody, and he's always gonna put in comments it's like how's the LTC trade? I gotta stop that, dickhead. Your name's not Aaron, bruv. That with that face, let's be honest, right? Your name is definitely not Aaron, fam. Right? Let's be honest, right? You don't look like an Aaron. Do I look like a fucking rubber? Do I look like a fucking rubber? Dickhead. Fucking prick. Everyone give it up to Aaron. Fucking Aaron. So this is what we're dealing with the fucking community sometimes. It is what it is. Aaron. For those who just joined in, this is Aaron apparently. Does he look like an Aaron? Please comment below and tell me, do you think he looks like a fucking Aaron? Everyone's just cracking up. Razoon, what's going on, brother? Good to have you here as well. TCX is in the house as well. AG Cap, Adam's here, Thomas here. I'm doing everyone the thingy, the what you call it, a shout out here. Aromatics in the house as well. Razoon, what's up, champ? Good to have you here. Razoon, you know what? He's a very legitimate, hard working motherfucker though. Like this geezer was telling, BC was telling me a story. The guy didn't really sleep that much. Let me give him a shout out to this guy. Give him a follow as well. Really, really hard working guy. He works for the Burb as well. There's an analysis for the Burb. Legitimately a really good guy. Does a lot of content as well. A lot of work for you guys. He puts a lot of effort into it. So please give him some love. Give him a follow as well. And yeah, stick around, man. We'll see what's going on. So let's go. Let's get cracking. GP's in the house. What you saying, man? It looks like Arun from He does look from Arun, innit? Looks like an Arun, not Aaron. But fuck it, never mind. Let's go. Let's get cracking. So BTC, so dollar index. We've done a lot of fucking wasting time for 20 minutes. Let's get cracking there. Soren's in the house, man. So what we got here, two things. Number one, we've got last week's Monday's range and where we are. We've done a deviation of here. Come back down. We've got a bit of a gap here. And now, the question is, do we come back up as a retest, break down? And that will be, a bit of a short for ES and a short for crypto. And we'll see how it goes. And once it breaks back down into the bottom side, then take out these lows itself. There's liquidity resting at the bottom over here, and then we'll see a little bit more of expansion. We'll see how it goes. I mean, really and truly, what's happening over here? Let's drop down to 5 minutes. Let's see if we can see something that way it's bouncing off, because price is bouncing off somewhere, and we've got to identify where that bounce is coming from. I think I found it. Let me just see if I'm correct on this now, because I don't want to see price bouncing off the middle. No, fuck off. No, I didn't even bounce off it. So you see this here. I'm trying to show it to you. This last Daink candle here. Let's send the market back up, right? Let me drag that across. This is on the 5 minutes, and the thing is, right, we didn't even bounce off this motherfucker right here. So at least a bounce onto here would be good. The question is, do we bounce into it and then play back up, fill out this gap there, fill out the inefficiency up there, get a retest, and then come back down? I don't know. Or do we actually lose this level here and break down? It's a little bit tricky to say, because we got a gap over here. I mean, that's what I don't like. We got a gap here, and we got a gap here. What the fuck's going on? I mean, you see, we got a gap over there. We went up, then we filled it out. We haven't filled anything out. If it's gonna get filled out eventually, does it happen? Today, tomorrow? We don't fucking know. We'll work it out level to level. But dollar index is looking quite bearish. We can agree. If I draw on let's go on the 1 hour. Let's see what's going on the 1 hour. All right. Well, how would I get even more bearish on dollar index? Is really and truly is fuck it. Let's go on full. Okay, fuck it. We're on free. Yeah, let's do it on free. How would I get? Nah, fuck it. Let's do full. Sorry about this, guys. I'm undecisive today. Right, so how we would like to get bearish on the dollar index. So you see this particular high here, right? This is the area that's actually acting as support. Fucking hell, perfect. Bing bang boom. So what we got there? Resistance, shoot up, bit of a deviation, pulls back. But this particular low holds in place. Lower low, lower high, and we shoot back up. Yeah, bearish market structure. We broke out the market structure, went up high, took out these highs, and we stepped back into the macro mid range, and whatnot. Okay, so now drawing that back in, right? Let me just draw that fucking line back in. It wasn't this line, it was here. Drawing this back in, right? I like to see price come back down, which comes into that order block which I showed on the 5 minutes, hold into it, then bullish market structure, come back into last week's Monday's mid range, and see if we can actually get a retest of this, just to run the highs over there. That'll be quite good. Then from there we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Do we actually do a deviation? Is that a double top and then come back down, or do we step back into the range and play it back up? We don't know. With the Fed pivot coming in place, let's look at the Fed pivot itself. There was one in 2000, right? Let's go on the weekly. There was one on 2000 that happened in the dot-com bubble, and we had a 2007. That's what we're going to use, the two ones, right? So the one on 2000 was where? Where the fuck was 2000? Jesus Christ. So I don't have a date on when the Fed pivot happened. That's the thing is, do I have a date? I don't. Let's see if I can find it. Fed pivot date 2000. When did they do the 2000? No, Marcus Many do. It's all bullshit. Marcus is dreaming. It doesn't tell me a date. If anyone has a date, I would really appreciate that. We'll see how it goes. But really and truly, let me just bring this back up. Actually, where's the chart? Oh yeah, by the way, guys, that's Razunia. So profile. If you guys want to watch the session me and BC Richfield did, go on to Jimmy, your NLP coach. He's also another geezer as well to follow as well. Big respect to the guy as well. It's on my profile. I've done the retweet, and you can see the Trading Congress session that we did. And definitely check it out. Definitely do check it out there. So let me just bring this back up. So we, according to 2000, the dip happened after these highs there. So we got a high, a lower high, then we have a drop. So the lower high itself in 2000 is when we start pumping down. What the fuck am I doing? So I'm trying to narrow this down. And this was in 2000, after the year 2000. Let's have it up. So the year 2000 was here. We're on the weekly. So where the fuck is the dot-com bubble? I can't really see. Let me try on SPX. I think I can, if I narrow it down on ES, I can get a date and just see how that relates to, let's do it together. See how that relates to fucking thingy. So we got the lower high here, and this is where the Fed pivot was coming around in July. No, that's 2011. What the fuck am I doing? 2000. There we go. So here. So we got the lower high here, and you can see this particular area consolidation here was the area that we are looking for. And let me just try and narrow it down. There, that's it. And you can see consolidation over here. Do a deviation there. That's the first bounce you want to look out for if you want to actually start looking for shorts. The confirmation will be below here, and you can see we come back up, step into the range itself in the consolidation. We come up these highs there. I'm guessing there's an area of consolidation that we actually find a resistance. Then we sell off. We come back as resistance, bounce off this, gets a lower high, bounce. Once we have a close below here, it starts to look bearish, and you start looking for any retest in this particular area here, which we do several times. You can put a hard stop there. I mean, like a stop loss there. I would have done that for aggressive trading, for a swing trade. If I missed out all this opportunity over here, I would do that. Or your invalidation really and truly is up here. That's where your invalidation is, and then you play it back down, take out liquidity over here, and on the downside, and it does take out liquidity. So that's one thing, and that happened around approximately what, September 2000. Let me see what dollar index was doing at that time. September 2000. It's always good, in my opinion, to always go back in time and just have a look what the fuck was price doing in terms of dollar index. We're all like, yeah, Bitcoin, this and that, right? But let's just be honest, you know, September 2000, right? Look at September 2000, July, August, September, that's October. So September 2000, right? Around here, this is September, we start to rally up, right? So in price, it starts to rally up. So what it does, it rallies up, takes out the highs, comes back down, range bounds here for numerous years, while the ES takes to recover. The top comes in, let's say like before the final drop comes in about fucking January 2002. What was ES doing at the time? You know, January 2002. So that means we were grinding up, and then ES. Fucking hell. What the fuck are you? There you go. 2002, January 2002. And yeah, so the bottom comes in July 2002. You know what I'm saying? So which means there's like after the pivot, we have fucking, it's brutal. This is a recession over here. You know, back then in 2000. So the bottom really comes in July, and that July, that low gets stopped out, man. Can you see? It gets stopped out, it runs the lows, right? And then that's the final low. This is a range bound environment. Once we get a clean close above there, and you retest, play it back up, take out all this, and then we're aiming for liquidity because that's the range high, and we say that's the range low using swing as a swing point of view. So if you think about and relate that to what we're going into, the ES can have a horrible drop, and that's after the Fed pivot. Because I want to break you into this, right? We haven't even touched crypto yet, but I want you to have a look at this. So where's the high that's capping the, like, you know, that's acting as a pivot? It's this particular high here. You see price, this high here, we have a deviation. We come in as resistance, small deviation, we come back up, find a little support, then we sell off. And this area consolidation is what's the key factor here. So if it was to be bullish, what we want to see is price run these highs and then hold the high itself to play up higher, and then that'll become a lower high. But you can look at it this way as a pivot, and you can also look at it as a trend line, and you can see what happened quite carefully. Let me just try and narrow. Yeah, there you go. We lose the trend line. Once look, support over here. This is actually a fucking alpha one. Smash up the likes, man. You ain't gonna get this kind of alpha from anyone else, really. Support. We have the number support, 4 times support. Coming here the 5th time. We start closing below it. A retest starts breaking down this low, bearish market structure there. We run these highs there, and let's fucking go. Once we run these lows there, it was over. And you can see that remember I was discussing about this particular area here, and you retest into this area, you can put like a stop loss here. Invalidation will be here. Play it back down. This will be a fucking solid swing trade, and that's what we're fucking looking for. I'm telling you guys, when we're shorting the market, this is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to do the same situation, but we're going to do it live and direct to you guys. So smash up the likes, hit subscribe if you're new. If you've already subscribed, tell your girlfriends, your boyfriends, and your family, like, listen, if you want to survive in the bear market and learn how to short the market, I'm going to help you out here. Okay, we're going to do this together. Gotta drink up the coffee because it's getting cold. Yeah, so that's what we're going to play. And I'm telling you, those in the DCC, when we're shorting the market, fam, I'm telling you, I'm going to enter in. I'm going to show you some aggressive trades and stuff like that. Bro, we are going to be in for a trade of a lifetime. To me, this bear market that's going to come is going to be a beautiful bear market. It's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward. Now, let's be honest now. I could be wrong. I have to be honest. I could be completely wrong. And instead of what's happening, let's have a look, right? I'm just using ES. That's what I'm doing. I'm not using anything else. I'm just using ES, right? I could be completely wrong. So what we got here is this range bound environment. We have, like, could the Fed pivot happen once, right? We come into this area here. This is the area consolidation. You see, we come back as resistance. It's natural to come into this area here. Well, does it come to the mid-range? We'll find out. We've got September's high here. I like to see September's high run out. And could it? And it'll be funny. Someone record this shit. I'm gonna actually bring this back up in the future. It'll be mad jokes, right? If we come into this area here. Let me just draw this out. It'll be fucking hilarious. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then that's when we short, right? It'll be funny if price comes into here and then we start announcing a Fed pivot. You guys are getting like, well, not you guys. You guys are smart, right? But like the dickheads out there are gonna start longing. They're gonna get liquidated because we know that we've seen price action break down and we can enter under confirmation like this. That's the confirmation to take the shorts, play it back down to range low and play it for lower prices once we get back below. So you can take profits there once we get back below. And then just bearish price action, take the shorts down there, and then we work it level to level. Or you want to play it aggressively, right? Once we get in, we'll narrow this. This is on a weekly. We'll play on the daily. We'll play it daily and whatnot. If we want to play aggressive, right? Let's say we get into here. They announce the Fed pivot here. I'm happy to take a trade over here with a stop loss above this high itself. Invalidation will be here. And then once we come back down, I'm going to compound the shit out of it all the way down there. That's an idea. That's an idea. We've talked about the Fed pivot itself briefly and what it does technically as well. It's never proven to be bullish on a Fed pivot. We always have a sell-off, and the major crash is going to happen then because recession. Remember, recession is always bad, like for everyone's pockets, isn't it? So it's gonna be a fucking it's gonna be a Christmas for us, like every single day. Hanukkah, Eid, it's gonna be everything, man. You know, it's gonna be lit. So let's see what happens. Anyway, so ES, talking about ES actually, what's happening now? Now we have the idea that, yeah, I'm happy for the price to go up. Why? Because we've got this area consolidation. Well, really and truly, right, it's still looking bullish though, innit? What happened was, well, with the daily, you can not, let's go on the hourly actually, fuck it, let's go on the hourly, right? What we got here, we got an area that I was looking for as resistance. I'm going to start looking for longs now as well. So you got this, right? You got like a bit of a downtrend over here. We broke out the downtrend. I didn't trade it myself, but we went up to the 75% range. And we claim above, like we're holding above the 75% range. So as long as we hold above it, what happens next for ES? Well, really and truly, all we're gonna do is something like this, play it back down. Any pullbacks into this area here, I'm quite happy as long as we hold these lows here. I'm happy to play up. Confirmation would have to be here. I'm happy to play up to range high, playing it level to level. I mean, your first target here, looking at this, right? You see this? Got all this inefficiency right over here to fill out. All this inefficiency. I'd be quite happy to come into here as target one there. Look into this area there. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Let's be honest. Let's split this up, right? What can we do? So target one. If you want to play this level to level, how would you play this level to level, right? So let me just spread that across, and we can have a look. What the fuck's going on? So target one will be right. So you got a range band environment using the range itself. Let it do its deviation, steps back in. Then you know, yep, I can put like a hard stop over here, playing it back to target one. Target 2, from target 2, see how we react, because that's mid-range. Always going to be a reaction, going to be choppy. Once we get back up, shows bullishness, play it back up to 75 and range high. I always show these levels, level to level targets for you to take profits, not for me. Like I don't need to draw these ranges like for me at all. I don't need it. Like alhamdulillah, I know what I'm looking for. I'm quite happy to hold the trade here, right? In hopes of a higher prices, but I'm monitoring the price because I can manage my risk. Number one, I can also manage the trade. But if price starts coming back down, shows lower bearish bearish market structure, I'm happy to cut the trade and then wait for support to play bounce back up and whatnot. But again, this will be your confirmation to play up to range high, and we'll definitely be paying attention to this particular area here. So can you see? This low here, oh sorry, this high here in particular, oops, this high here, look at that. It comes into approximately the mid-range between this candle over here, right? So that's going to be an interesting point, and which is approximately the mid-range between these two. Well, not really, it's approximately the mid-range between these two areas, nearly there. So we're going to play it level to level, keep an eye on this, especially that's will be a lot of profit taking area here on the 2 hours itself. Yeah, let's go on the 4 hours actually. What's the 4 hours saying? Yeah, I mean, it's just showing me this yeah, profit really. I mean, looking at this, right, you can run the highs there and come right into this particular area here. Not that. Right into this particular area here. That's a very possibility. Run the highs there. Fed pivot. fucking short the motherfucking back down. That's a possibility as well. Where would I be wrong? If we get back above the mid range, right? That's the 2021 mid range. Then we play it level to level. You know, we can always play level to level. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. Let price do its thing. If I want absolute confirmation, this particular area here, once it reclaims this, so it could come up, right? It's gonna be choppy. Let it do its thing. The moment it comes back up and reclaims and holds above it, that's my long to play it back up to where 75% range, and then we get to range high. That's when I'm wrong. I'm quite happy to admit that I'm wrong there and flip the whole thing, the whole scenario there. Check out this geezer Muhammad Al Z smashing out the alpha. Ah, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. but so, but that's how I'm quite happy to flip the longs there. I mean, yes, I'm looking for bearish there. I'm not trying to spread FUD. I'm not trying to share, like shit you up a little bit. Say, yo, the market's gonna go down. Be ready to start shorting. No. Just because I'm posting shorts, right, doesn't mean that I'm gonna look for shorts every single time. I'm not like that. Like some geezers out there and just goes on people's Twitter account and just post a bearish scenario. It's like, yeah, it's resistance. Yeah, it's heavy. It's gonna go down. I'm not that dickhead, bruv. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to flip bias. This is trading. Anything can happen, man. We could be bullish all the way to $40,800. What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna keep shorting? Nah, man. You gotta play it with the momentum. That's what you gotta do. BTC is a little bit difficult though at the moment. I ain't gonna lie to you. In terms of what? Because if you look at ES has been grinding up since October, right? BTC is dumped since November. It's fucking fucking hell, BTC. You give us a massive headache. You know that? You really do give us a massive headache. But we love you. We respect you. We want to be a part of you. Why? Because we just want to make some money out of you. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And I was saying this to the guys early on, right? This is fucked up, right? So do you know what? Like you guys, I want to be honest with you. If I were to tell you that like trading, it's a game of taking other people's money, right? You take the loser's money. Would you be happy with that? Like, is that something that you were like, you know what? I'm down to take someone else's money. I want to rip that motherfucker's wallet account. I'll hope he gets liquidated. Like generally, you'd be like, this is like fucked up, man. It's like stealing in it. But when you were losing money, fam, right? No one gave a shit in it, right? You know what I'm saying? No one gave a flying damn that you were losing money. When your funds got stolen from FTX, right? No one gave a flying shit about you in it. Like, do you know how evil that is? That sounds fucked up as well. Yes, we as influencers on Twitter, like, oh, I'm really sorry that people lost their money. Yeah, I agree. But like, I did say out myself before this whole FTX colossal that was happening. I put a tweet out and I was saying to the guys, just move your funds out, man. Some of them actually was trying to move it a little bit later and they got kind of caught up. And generally, I am sorry that people actually lost money in there. And it's a shame, it's especially hard-earned money, and you know what you've gone through, but you can't let this thing knock you off the horse. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find moments of where there's hardship. You're gonna find moments where you're struggling. You're gonna find moments where you're like, I can't deal with this. I've been in the same boat as you have. Trust me. I'm telling you this from my own experience. I've literally have been in the same position as you have. You're welcome, Joe. You're not late, man. What you say, my bro? Yeah. So thank you, Mr. M. It's alpha upon alpha. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and even Bon Miggy's made more money in bear market than in the bull market. Just adjust your strategy. My fucking guy. That's the fucking geezer. Because I'm telling you, the bear market is a reversal of the bull market. That's what it is. The only thing you can't do is just spot buy and let it go up. You can't do that. That's the only thing. You can say to me, oh yeah, but you got like on Binance they have like the 3x short, whatever, like the S long or S short, whatever it's called, of the coins itself. But they have a rebalancement every 24 hours, so it's not the same. So if you learn how to trade leverage wise, it's risky, but it pays off. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying that you can't let things happen to you, man. You can't let if you want to trade, if you guys want to be professional traders or want to make money out of this, and for you it's not a professional trading thing, but it's more like a hobby. But you've got to separate your personal life to the working life. This is just like this. Like when you go to work, let's say your girlfriend's like sucking some other man's dick in it, right? For example, this is a fucked up situation here. I'll give an example. Yeah, so this is fucked up. So basically, this geezer comes into the story time. I worked with this guy when I was still as a pharmacist, right? And I know him really, really well. I'm not gonna name his name because I don't like, but we're not gonna say anything about him or at which pharmacy or whatever. But it was a geezer I was working for, right? A company. I was there for 2 weeks. And it was like a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Wednesday I wasn't working there. I was working someone else for 2 weeks. And one of the days, right, he's really, really happy. Like when he comes in, mad bubbly and shit, mad bubbly. Always like in a great mood. He was a lovely gentleman. I really like that guy as well. He always flirted with me. I don't know why, but he always flirted with me. But like he was such a cool guy. I liked him. I really liked him. Not like that, but I liked him as his work ethic as a human being. He was an amazing human being. As I have a lot of love for him. But anyway, Geezer comes in one day, right, and he's all like upset and sad and quiet. And I was like, yo, let's call him let's call him Barry. So I go to Barry. I say, yo, Barry. That's not his real name, by the way. Yo, Barry, you good? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. And the way he said I'm fine, I was like, nah, Barry's something up with Barry. I'm like, Barry, let's go for a cig. He's like, we just started work. I'm like, fuck it, man, I'm the boss today, innit? Let's go for a cig, innit? And he's like, no, like later. That's how good of a work ethic he is. He goes later, and I go, no, Barry, we're going out for a cig. Let's chat. Let's go. So we go outside, right? I'm like, yo, talk to me. What's going on? Like, tell me what the deal is, right? So I know what I'm dealing with as well, so I can actually help you and help the team. Because if you're slacking, it's gonna affect the workload as well, right? And he's like, I'm not slacking. I'm like, look, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you're slacking to me. If you're not coming in the same attitude you had yesterday or bubbly, you're slacking. And then he starts telling me that he caught his boyfriend, what do you call it, cheating on him. Like he came back home from work yesterday, and he was supposed to stay in a bit more longer to file the end of month as well, innit? But someone else did it instead during work, so he didn't have to stay in an extra 2-3 hours anyway. So my man went home, caught his boyfriend in bed with another man, and obviously really upset in it and stuff like that. And as a human being, right, you should be like, for me, have compassion, have empathy, have all that kind of stuff. Now, the way I grew up was very different to having this whole, how this whole woke thing is going on today, like how everyone's all fucking, hippie and shit like that. I'm not like that. To me, if you're like that, stop being a bitch, man, and start working, man, start grinding. Everyone wants to be millionaires, but without putting the work into it. So I go to Barry. I go, Barry, I don't care if your man's sucking another man's dick and you sat there and recorded that shit. You come to work, right? If you're not for it, right? If you're not in the right frame of mind, you go home and you don't come back in. You come back in when you're ready and deal with that personal situation there. But when you're coming to this through the doors, I want every single human being that walks through the door, right, that who works with me, to be as if we're here to work for the day. We're here for the work for the company. We're here for, and I was working for someone for a company in it. So we're here for the day, and he was baffled by it as well. He was really, really baffled by it, and he was a bit upset about it as well. And obviously he raised it, he told the other staff members and whatnot. And there was another lady, let's call her Janice. Janice was she was an old lady. She was a very, very old lady. She was in a 70s, man. She was in the 70s still working, fam. It was mad. She was a lovely lady too. I fucking love Janice. So Janice goes to Barry. Yeah, Barry. I got the right name right there. Goes to Barry. He's like, Z's telling you the truth though. Like what can you do? You come to work, you come to work. If you don't like it, go home. And I was like, yes, Janice. Fucking Janice is mad. But going into this whole thingy, like, look, you lost money in FTX if you had money. You got scammed. You got robbed. You went through the hardship and stuff like that. You saw 69K. You drove it all the way down to 16K. It's hard. I know it's fucking hard. It's daunting. It's such a horrible grind. But I'm telling you, the worst thing you could do right now is give up. If we drop to another 3-4K and you give up, that's the worst thing you can do. Trust me. Whether you trade or whether you're sitting on the sidelines, I'm advising you guys, not financial advice, but I'm advising you guys to sit and watch and follow. Just follow it because it pays off. When it pays off, you're gonna say Daink was fucking right. I know one geezer who's lost a 6-figure account on FTX. All right, I personally know a geezer who lost a 6-figure account on FTX, and he wanted some advice. And I said to him, look, It's lost. Unfortunately, it's lost. There's nothing that can be done about it, right? Work forward, go ahead, and keep grinding. Keep grinding, keep pushing yourself. Don't fucking stop. The worst thing you can do is stop, man. I'm telling you, you can't stop here right now. Anyway, so BTC. Looking at BTC, what's going on, right? So we are coming into an area of support now. We're coming back to the mid-range. What we've got here is last week's high, last week's low, right? Let me just, I don't like this. I like my lines to be completely nice, tick for tick. There, that's better. Right, we're coming back into last week's low, okay? So we've got Monday's high. We didn't do a full retest on Monday's high, which is not, I'm not a fan of that myself, but does it have to do, trader main lost 8, fuck, you know, main lost 8 figures, damn. But you see him upset, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's going to be hurt by it. He worked hard for it. You know, anyone who worked for their money, worked hard for it. I'm very fortunate that I never really used FTX myself, so I was quite lucky. So, but others aren't, and others really felt that pain, and it's a horrible feeling, and trust me, it's nasty. I totally understand. And look, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get out of this mess. Like, we are gonna get out of this mess. We're gonna work this level to level. So anyway, we're talking about BTC. BTC, what's going on? Let's just run this through because I do want to cover BNB and LTC as well. Kind of pissed off that LTC is broken down, the motherfucker. Right. Oh well. I want it. Oh well. We'll talk about confirmation on LTC and BNB. We'll talk about confirmation in a bit. Is this I think a run of the highs? I mean, we'll talk about it in a bit. What in terms of my aggression on this trade, and where is the valid trade on this one? Where it would be? What's your confirmation and whatnot? But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's just talk about BTC. Let's just get this out of the way and see what the possibility is. Right. I'm not, like I've said this before and I'll say this again. I'm not focused about 18k. I'm not focused at 17.5k around here. I'm not focused at this area. I'm gonna be focused within a range band environment. What do we have as a range band environment? We have the orange line, which is last week's low. Oops. Last week's low to last week's high, which is also Monday's low and Monday's high. That's last week. What we've had is a deviation of Monday's range itself. There were a number of people who took longs right here, playing it on the upside to the mid-range, and it was a very good move. And I saw this on Twitter. Congratulations for those who made it. For me, I was leaning towards taking out Monday's low first. This is what I was leaning at, doing something like this, and then playing it into Monday's thingy, to last week's Monday's low. And that would be definitely a nice swing trade. I mean, I would have played it up to Monday's side, take some profits, and then play some profits over here. That's what we were looking for, but it never did it. Because why? On Tuesday, we closed below the Monday's mid-range. To me, the magnet in price will be thingy on what do you call it, Monday's low. And you can see on the 4 hours, we were finding resistance off this area, a bit of a deviation, resistance there. I was, really forward for a short, but we did a long stop run, takes out the highs on Monday's highs, and we break out Monday's highs, but we don't do a retest. Does it have to retest Monday's high? Not necessarily. It doesn't have to. It can bounce off a smaller time frame over here, which it did on a 15 minutes itself, and that's where it got the rally up into here. So now, if I want to narrow this down to, like, let's go into the 15-minute chart. How would I play this? Okay. Well, the mid-range, okay? I'm quite happy to take a long here, right? Like, at the same time, but at the same time, I'm not too happy. Why? The first thing is, right, we can see we've broken out of this. That's not too good for me. Already, if we've broken out of a trend line, it started to give us a compliment. So there's bearish market structure, number one. Number two, we can already see there's a bearish market structure happen, because that's the high there. This low got taken out. We come back down, and we come back down for a retest. Yes, come to the mid-range, no problem, but we don't want to see this low in particular taken out if you want to be long. So you can actually have a short, right, with a stop loss here, playing it back to 75% range, going for Monday's high. Now, how would I be confident to take that trade? Now, really and truly, right, so you got this high over here, that acts as a pivot. Can you see that? Right, so we got resistance, resistance, deviation, 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 come back up, grind above it, come back down, and it comes back below it, comes back up, comes back below it. So this is a very key factor now. So if I want to see bullish price action, I want to see a break in market structure, take these highs out there, bounce into here. I can say, yeah, confident. This is my confirmation to take a long there. Well, this will be the confirmation for the long itself, and then we're playing up into these highs there, and also playing into 75% range, reclaim the 75% range, and then we can play it back to range high. That's the bullish scenario. That's a bullish scenario. If I want to take a long now, because we're above the mid range, my stop loss will have to be, have to be here. So which is, if you think about it, it's not a great thing of risk to reward, but you can enter in afterwards. Like, let's just the stop loss here, there, with a target up there. Well, to be honest, it's a 2.7 hour trade. You can't really stress out about this. But at the same time, I can see price coming back into this particular area here. It does make sense there, right? Because look here, we come back, and how would I play the short? Like, how would I play this out there? See the price come into here, consolidation, breakout, support, bullish market structure, bullish market structure, bullish market structure. Then we have a break in market structure right over here. So which means to me that I'm quite happy to take, for price to come into here. Once it comes back into the mid-range, that's the deeper pullback, gives me the bullish market structure. Then I can say, yeah, we can run out these highs there, 75%, then range high. And that will give me a more of a confidence play to say, yep, that's my confirmation, and I'm just following the price. I want to see how price is. At the same time, I want to see how price reacts. Well, really, once we get above these highs, that's your confirmation play up high, right? You got this inefficient to fill out, and we'll see how a lower time frame we might bounce back into it. Once we reclaim it, take out these highs, the liquidity resting over there, playing on the upside. That's the bullish market, bullish play, playing to not all-time high, 17.169, right? That's what we're looking for in terms of bullish play. But like we said, we've broken out this market structure. So it's not looking too fucking good there. So what I'm looking for is a potential play of how do I actually step into the market. So if I want to step in on for a short, I like to see price. So see this area here, this particular area here. We've got a consolidation here. No one can disagree. We've got consolidation over here. We've come back down. And I can accept there's going to be a retest here. Why? We've got inefficiency here. So if I'm looking for shorts, right, and see price come back down, right, let it get back down. If it starts breaking down, I can enter in with a hard stop over here, playing it back down to the mid-range. And then we can see how we react off this block. Once we get back into this block and we hold above it, we cut the trade, right? Take your profits level to level. But really and truly, right, if we come into this area here and it bounces there, no problem. How would I play the shorts to play it back down? So this is the first bounce over here. Once we get back below the mid-range, we can play a quick scalp play back into target 1 over here. And then we can go into Monday's high. And that's what we do. And that'll be the short scenario playing Monday's high. Then from there, we see what happens. Do we hold above it, break above, and then we can play up the higher prices. And then that's the consolidation. And this is the breakout, and that's the retest. And then we're going to do the expansion. That's a possibility. A very, very strong possibility. I don't see why not. If ES is pulling, is gonna push up higher, let BTC push up higher. Follow it through. No big deal. That's all it pretty much is. Now, if I'm going to be bearish, right, I can focus on this, right? Once we get back in, if I want confirmation to play down lower, we play it back down from the Monday's low, play it back down. We see how we react there. Once we get back below here, more confidence in our trade, back into the mid-range, Monday's mid-range, filling out all this inefficiency, and going back into the last week's Monday's low. That's an area that I'm expecting for a reaction. If we can get back below it, let's take out Monday's high and Monday's low. And all we've done, we've taken out Monday's high, we've done a deviation on Monday's high, and we send it back down, taking out Monday's low. What happens next? I don't know. These are the plans for the bullish and bearish, so we can follow price as it unfolds itself. But FOMC is out the way. This spike here happened after FOMC. I mean, well, this spike here happened at FOMC. I think what happened, if it wasn't for FOMC, the minutes meeting, I think what would happen is from here, we would actually retest in Monday's high. I think that would be the most logical point of view of things to happen. But instead, it just decided to do its own thing. So that's one. The second thing, let's look at Ethereum. Squeezing Ethereum. Ethereum is interesting now, right? So I was telling the guys how to be bullish and how to play the game of higher prices now. Let me just bring up these, right? So we got two sets of ranges here. This is this week's Monday's range, which we haven't retested the Monday's high. And the one on the upper side, let me just make this a bit more thinner so we don't confuse the two. And this one is last week's range, okay? Where we are right now, we've come back into this area here, and let's have a look. So what we've done so far, we're above the weekly open. It's showing some bullishness, no problem there. I want to see how price is. This black line here is October's low. We've done the deviation of October's low, right? We can all agree that's the deviation of October's low. I think the clearer one would be Ethereum over BTC, in my opinion, in terms of taking longs, right? So how we would play this, let it come back down, come back into this area. This is an area of consolidation where price consolidate. We came back, retest, we start grinding into it, and we smash above it. So I'm expecting this block of consolidation to be bullish. So as long as we hold above the block itself, and we're holding the October's though, I'm quite happy to take a trade to play it back into the mid-range. From the mid-range, see how we react, get above, hold it back to 75%, and let's go for the highs over there. There's double tops on this chart here, on the Coinbase chart. The Binance chart didn't give me a double top. I think it was a high over here, so lower high. But there's liquidity resting in this area here, so that's what we're looking for as a next target at 1290. That's the long scenario there. I want to be cautious about how we play this. Someone said we done the low of the day potentially. It's actually quite true. I think it's very, very possible. Speaking about the low of the day, I do think we can do the low of the day, which happened at 10:45, 9 o'clock, 8:15. Around here was a low of the day. Well, not the low of the day. Around here is the low of the day. If we reclaim this low here, right, what I like to see is price hold above this level here, take above this high there, then reclaim this high. We've broken the market structure on the upside over there. We can play this for these highs over there and then into the mid range, and that's a very, very, like, I think it's a sound trade there, to be honest. It's a very sound trade. So I want to see how it works during New York. So to see how New York does, let it do its thing. Once we come back into these lows off this low here, reclaim, gives you more of a confirmation to play as a day trade, at least taking these highs there of the high of the day. That's what I'll be looking for in one aspect. Now the shorting scenario, if I want to take a short, it's going to be a little bit difficult. The only way I can take a short here, because we can come back down all the way here and still hold support and reclaim here. Okay, for me to get a confirmation to take the shorting scenario, we have to do this. Price come back down, gets back below here, finds resistance off this block there, get back down below the last week's Monday's low. That will give me my confirmation to play it back down to where? Monday's high. Once we play Monday's high, then we look at how we react to a weekly open. That's one thing. And another thing why, like, we can see that maybe the short scenario can actually be coming into fruition is that if I do a trend line, just like BTC, we've lost it completely. Really, really have lost it as well, and it's showing it having a bullishness. So if I want to play aggressive, right now, you have to watch this quite differently. Okay, how would I play this aggressively? Let me just delete everything else, and I can actually focus on what I've got here at hand. So what I've got here, when I play aggressive, I like to be naked. Completely, not naked, but like naked on the chart. Can you post the charts when you take the trade on Twitter? Rafi, honestly, right? Like, I've done that so many times for 2 years. When I take the charts down, it's all on the DCC. The plans are there, and so it's entirely up to you guys if you want how you follow it itself. But so it's all on the DCC on the Country Club. In all honesty, I'm not gonna lie about that. That's when I do a lot of alpha and a lot of time over there, because it's it's a group that we're growing, right? So what we got here, we got number one. Let's have a look on the 1 hour. Let's go for 4 hours to see what we got here. So we've come into this particular area here. We've retested this area here. This last up candle send the market back down. No, right here we've retested it there, and it's breaking down. It's no problem there. So second thing, so we've got some bearishness here. We do have some liquidity up here and up there, I can agree. But if I were to take a short as an aggressive short, how would I do this? Let's go on the 1 hour. What we're doing, so look, 15 minutes. So on the 1 hour, have we broken the trend line? Let's have a look. We're just trying to spread it out. No, we haven't broken the trend line on the 1 hour. What we'd like to see is a retest of this particular area here. You see, a little bit lower. This particular area here is where I'll be looking for. Like, I would like to see, I'm quite happy because we got inefficiency over here. I'm quite happy for price to come back down. Right, let it do its thing. Once it comes back up, I'm quite happy. Once we break down, should bearish market structure to take the trade. Hard stop over here to play it back down. Taking out, like we've seen levels over here to play out. Got levels over here, and we got into this. I'd like to see. This is gonna be quite. A lot of people ain't gonna like this, but I like to see us to come back into this base of consolidation. Oops, not over here, right over here, into this base of consolidation right there. That's what I would like to see, and that's not a fucking bad trade though. Back into thinking. Obviously, we're gonna step into Monday's range as well, but that's what I don't know if you guys know about the ICT market sell. Let's have a look. I'll do it together with you guys. Just briefly, just run it through. ICT market maker sell model. There we go. Images. Shout out to Main. He does a little video on that as well. And you can see you got what happens with the market sell model is this. Let me just try and get a picture. Is it? Delete that for a second. This shout out to who's this? Tilopa, young Tilopa. I don't know who he is. His Chinese brother. So yeah, this is the market sell model, right? Let me explain this quite briefly. What happens? The sell model is you get consolidation, you get a breakout, consolidation, breakout, consolidation with lower highs, and then we start seeing bearish market structure coming back down, taking out these lows there, consolidation, breakdown, consolidation, break down, and we get back below this console. That's the market maker model, right? So if you were to relate the same situation on this, right, what do we have here, right? So what we have here is consolidation. It's the first consolidation over here, breakout, second consolidation, breakout. Do we get lower highs? According to the sell model, then it'd be something like this. So let me just draw this out. So we got colors. What the fuck am I doing? The Tilopa. So we got green, blue, and then orange. So grey. Let me just draw that out. Green, blue. So we've got this set of first area here. Right. Fuck off. Yeah. Anyway, fuck it. So we got this is the first set of consolidation, right? This is the second set of consolidation. This is the third set of consolidation where we're expecting, if the market sell model is actually correct, we're expecting lower highs, break down, sell off, 1, 2, 3, and get back below here. Take out these lows there. So well, we were talking about it as a technical point of view, using that model itself. It does make a bit of sense though, in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. So no nukes. Oh, there's no nukes. Yeah, that's right. Fucking Thanksgiving. Thank you, GP. Train naked. That's a real album right there. Yeah, Matic looks bearish. Let's have a quick look at Matic. What time? It's 1 hour. So we've crossed the 1 hour marker. I'm gonna just skim through a few things. Matic. I'll just quickly run from Matic, BNB, and LTC, and I'm gonna call it a day. Okay. Where the fuck is Matic? Do I have it here on the charts? I do. I should have it. Apparently I don't. Fuck it. Never mind. Matic USDT. Ooh, yikes. So let's have a look at some my levels there. Let's come back to the mid-range. And we're finding resistance in the mid-range. And I think liquidity is going to come back to range low. You see over here, we've got like a double bottom itself in its own way. Not really a double bottom, but there's stops resting over here. See this low here? That's where it's looking like there's stops to be resting over there. So with Matic, if I were to trade this, right, let's have a look. Yo, guys in the DCC, we got to make a plan on this one. This looks quite sick. All right? So let it do its thing, whatever it wants to do. Once we lose this low over here, that's the consolidation over here. You can see that's the deviation of the consolidation. Once it loses low there, this is now giving me a confirmation. Take the trade back down to 25% range, and then from there we'll see how we get back to range low. That's how I'll be looking for it. Where would I be wrong? Let it do its thing. Like I said, once we step back up and hold above it, shows bullish market structure. I'm happy to take the trade back up to 75% range, and then we'll see how we go. Take out these highs and range high, level to level there. That's what Matic's looking to me as well. Let me just squeeze in LTC. LTC, the motherfucker stopped me out, right? It is what it is. So the question, and look at the market maker sell model. First consolidation, breakout. Second consolidation, breakout. Lower highs. It's lower highs. See the lower highs? The same principle with ICT's market maker profile. Consolidation, first set consolidation. Let me just change the color. Make it fucking yellow. First set of consolidation, breakout. Second set of consolidation, breakout. This is the lower highs over here. Come back down, sell off, sell off, sell off. Same situation. Don't believe me? I'll give you another example on BTC actually. Let's have a look at BTC. Keep clicking the wrong bullshit as well. Actually, wait, give me a second. So for me, let it do its thing, right? Once we get back below here, I'm happy to take a trade over here, and I know that's my hard stop there. Playing it back down to 25% range. Fill out this sorry, 25 to this. This is a range bound environment. Back down to $64. Fill out the inefficiency. Once we get back into here, this area here is a range bound environment. Short this back to mid range back to range low, and then we see what happens from there going forward. So that's the way I'm looking at it. The range itself, you can see quite clearly here. Here's the range. This is the low. That's the high. We got mid range held support. We got deviation range high. Come back down support, resistance. Stop runs the high. It's a bit of a deviation. Come back down. A little bit of a deviation. Deviation support. Deviation comes back up. Back into range high over here. Does a deviation of the range itself. Comes back down and then runs these lows there and shoots up there. So that's really what happened with LTC. Playing it back to the level of 51.96. So if it comes below here, BNB, quickly undo BNB and then we call it a day. BNB, right, it's been a bit of a little bitch, I ain't gonna lie to you, right? I'm still down to actually take a trade. Now, I took it aggressively. Let me explain this to you, why I took it aggressively and how I played it aggressively, okay? So, when it spiked up, I was doing this with FOMC with the guys yesterday, right? We did a spike up. To me, that was like a stop run. We did a stop run, and I was like, okay, if we come back into these areas here, well, or the high or whatever, I'll put a stop loss over here, playing it back down, right, to fill out these inefficiencies, and then back down to this. This is a weekly range. This area here is a weekly range, and all we're doing is playing like range high to mid range to range low. That's what I'm looking to do. Nothing else, nothing too fancy. And then I will say, yep, that's the deviation of the range. Now, I've taken a loss on this one, no problem. I'm quite happy to jump in again, and you can see I'm not too fond of jumping in just yet, right? Well, this looks like a deviation, and BNB has been is one of those really strong ass motherfucking moves as well that pushes up quite harshly as well. So it does look like distribution. You're absolutely right, Jordan. I do think that it does look like distribution, but yeah, I'll play a bit safe. I'm gonna be a little bit cautious about this. I'm gonna wait for New York, to be honest, before I even look at taking the trade there. But my plan is this, really. That's the deviation, the range. Let it do its thing, right? Whether it comes back up into here, I don't fucking know. But I know for a fact, right? Once we lose this, right? Let me just change the color so I can change this. Once we lose the trend line, right? I know I've got more of a confirmation to say, yep, breaking down. This is my confirmation using the trend line. Hard stop here, playing it back to mid, playing it back down to range low, level to level, take some profits over here, take some profits there, take some profits there, X, Y, and Z. Now, another way that I like to look at it is a range band environment, right? That price is in a range. So if I were to highlight this, right, let me delete all this. What is the range we're playing in, okay? So we got a range high, which is this high here. And then we've got, I'd say this would be the range low. Yeah, I'll use that as a range low. That's, to me, is a range low. And as a range band environment, I can play this ping pong the shit out of it up and down non-stop. But if we were to be bullish, get back above, reclaim this high itself, bullish market structure, send the motherfucking back up, then I'll play the market back up higher. It's not a big deal. But if I want to take a short, right, how I'll be looking for, let it do its thing, right? This is a range band environment. This is a mid-range. Come back to range low. Once we get back below the range low at this key level here, which is about $292, right? And then final resistance, bearish market structure. Then I can say, yep, this is now my entry. I put a stop loss here. Play it back down to these levels there. That'll be target 1. Once we get below it, target 2, target 3. And it just so happens, it does look like the thingy, the market maker sell model, right? Let me show you this as an example. Similar thing. So where is the consolidation? This area is the consolidation right here. We have a breakout. That's the second set of consolidation. And this is not showing us lower highs yet, but that's the next set of consolidation. Now, I could be wrong. It's a model. It's not a fact. It's a model. If he comes back up and hold above it, then fucking let's play back up. If I want to play back up, how high do I want to play? Whoops. Then let me show you this level. My next level will be on the quarterly play. Have to go to $330. Let's call it a 330. That's where I'll be looking to go. That'll be my first set of targets there, and then we'll see what happens afterwards as well. And this does come into July, October. That's I don't fucking know what this is. Fuck, oh, that's monthly open. That's not fucking right. That's not even monthly open. What the fuck you doing, mate? No, Ben. You got it wrong, yeah, dickhead. But yeah, that's why I look for monthly open at 325. Then look at 331, 330. That's the area that we're looking for. We'll see what happens. Really and truly, you can see that we're playing in a monthly range, which is in here. Is October's range. That's what we're playing in, and we're at the mid range. Let's just draw a Fibonacci and see how we're reacting. Actually, that's a very good point. So that's the low. Let's put that as purple, so we know what the fuck's going on. Put a bit of thickness to it, so you guys can see it. And let's go into the 1 hour, and let's just follow it from the beginning of October, right? So October came up, and what happened was, let me delete this. Right, gone 4 hours. So we had October's low, right? We made October's high. November, we run the highs itself. We come back up, do a deviation, a quick fast stop run and whatever. That's all the whole CZ, SAM bullshit that was going on. And we played it all the way down to range low, did the deviation, and now we come to mid range. And it just so happened, and that's the high of the weekly as well. So it's a very key factor there. So if I want to take a trade in terms of a short, like I said, we're at mid range, we're at resistance there. We play it back down, target 1, target 2. That's one way of looking at it this way. Well, I'll be looking to take profits from this weekly range in blue. The longs really and truly comes this reclaim of the highs there. Then we play target 1, which will be coming to $317. After $317, I'll look at 331 will be target 2, and then target 3 will have to be at 337, right? And then that's it. Keep it simple as that. Nothing too complicated. So those are the two ideas that we've got. You just gotta wait and be patient, right? Don't chase after price. Don't try and rush and force a trade. Just be calm, be collected, and think what's the best thing to do. If you want to play aggressive, know how to play aggressive. If you're not confident playing aggressive, don't fucking do it. All right? Get the practice going on. Get, just keep doing it, man. Just keep doing it. They say fundamental. I'm teaching you technical. All right? You guys can actually learn from fundamentals from a lot of people there. There's a lot of guys who shows a lot of alpha fundamentals. But as a technical point of view, that's how I'm looking for. Would I enter a trade right now in BNB? No, I wouldn't. Would I look for a breakdown? Yes, I would look for a breakdown. Would I look for a reclaim? Yes, I look for a reclaim. I'm just waiting for price to tell me exactly what he wants to do for me to chase that, for me to play the momentum. That's all we're doing. We're just playing momentum, nothing else. Okay? Any questions? Really appreciate you guys actually coming on the stream. Really enjoyed actually having you guys here. So thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see how it goes. Good luck with the rest of the day itself. Happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. Look after yourself. Bye everybody. See you later.